Right, guys, let's have a look. So the magician, you know, I think when a lot of people look at him, they always say, oh, he's magical, right? He's the alchemist. So he can turn base metals into gold. And he's oftentimes seen as the manifester, right? That, you know, as above, so below. He can create whatever he wants. But do you ever think about how he does that? How does he do that? Because he's the channel for the energy. This is about flow of energy. That's how I see this. How I see the magician. And that's you guys, right? You can flow energy, and it's about directing and channeling the energy where it's needed. So, you know, you could be really angry. And that sounds like a weird example to give, but imagine you're really angry about whatever situation. You can go punch a wall or go, you know, do physical harm to the person that has annoyed you, or you could go look for justice, like a deeper justice. So we have that choice, but it's how we channel and use what we have. It's not just about tools, it's knowledge, and, you know, he has the full elements at his disposal. So that is the deeper meaning of the energy of the magician. You've got it coming up for your week. Now it's asking you for this week, do you have the confidence? Do you have the confidence to use what you know and what you have? This may be about communication. I mean, I often see that, especially with Mercury going direct. You know, it kind of feels like maybe there's something you want to say. Maybe there's just an emotion that you have. And I know it's not really about, it's any energy. That's the whole point of the magician. He's number one in the major arcana. This is the beginning. This is where we look in our toolkit, see what we have and use it. We can use an emotion to fuel us. We can use the knowledge of something to go do something, but not if we don't have the confidence to use it. He is a manipulator, and, you know, that gets a bit of a bad reputation, but think about it. He manipulates matter. If you're directing and channeling things, that is a manipulation of matter and energy, right? That's what he does. And that's your week. That's the energy you're being asked to tap into this week. Why? Because we have the 7 of Cups coming up here. I think for a lot of you, whatever this week is, whatever happens, there's a situation that you're contemplating or options that you're contemplating, and they seem too good to be true. That's the 7 of Cups. This is the illusion. This is the fantasy. This is building castles in the sky. But this is about when we analyze and look, and I know it's cups, and that doesn't seem like a very kind of, why are we analyzing and rationalizing with cups? We are, but we're using our emotions, not our logic, which I know for air signs like us, it can be a little strange to contemplate that. But does it make us happy? Which dream is worth pursuing? What is the dream? Do the options fit in with that dream? This is at the heart of your reading. It's the heart of your reading. So, you know, it is about looking at what are the dreams that you have, because you're at the beginning of something and you can do this, but you have to know what you're dealing with or where you're going to know which tools to use, right? And that's kind of what's coming in here. Now, as the pastor foundation, bless you guys, you've got death coming up. And so I get the sense there's been a massive transformation already. A lot of people are kind of coming into this energy. It feels like you and Taurus as well have gone through this. You've already kind of lost a lot. There's been a lot that's been removed. Transformation that took place. It kind of feels like a pivotal place where you are right now with this energy. And what I mean by that is it's pivotal because when death shows up, you know, and death's never a surprise. And this could be last week, last month, last year, whatever. But there's different stages to death. And that's where first everything gets removed, right? Because death is not just about death. It's about rebirth as well. And before the rebirth, when everything's kind of died off, you know, when we've lost the relationships or things have been removed from our life or people have been removed from our lives, it can feel really empty. It can feel like, you know, we've just experienced loss, nothing else. But I'm getting the sense it's like you're trying to, if we think of your life as a house, that's a great movie, by the way. But, you know, if you think of that and everything's been removed from your house, you're at the point where you're trying to figure out, what do I want in my house? What do I want to bring in? Where's the rebirth going to be? And that's where you are. That's what you're figuring out at the moment with the 7 of Cups. But I want to make it clear, like with the 7 of Cups coming up here and the Magician, it's on you. You're the one that's going to magically kind of do this. And you are magic. With the Magician coming up, you are magic. You are the alchemist. So where do we look for inspiration? Well, we might be looking at the past. We have the 6 of Cups coming up. When the 6 of Cups shows up, I oftentimes see this as yes, it's nostalgia. Yes, it's looking back at the past. But sometimes it can be that dream that we had that we never went after. You know, it was a dream that we had a long time ago, but we kind of went after work, or we put up with other relationships that came in, or whatever. But this is that happiness. It does ask us to think back to a time when we were truly happy. We were truly happy. Because if you're manifesting, if you're channeling energy, if you're doing all of this, that's your inspiration. And of course, you know, if we're going to manifest something, we're not going to manifest from our saddest times. And I think a lot of people do that. They manifest from their most unhappiest emotions. You know, I want a relationship. Why? Because I'm lonely. And it's like, well, you understand by doing that, you will manifest a relationship that makes you feel even lonelier. Because we don't manifest from what we want, from the words that we use. I'm not going to go into this too much because I've rambled about this in podcasts already. They're on my website, and there's a link in the description if you're interested. But we manifest from a vibration. And so sitting in the vibration of when you were the happiest, what most people do is they'll think back to a happy time. They think about the happy time and then immediately move on to, oh my God, well, then this happened. Like they left me, or they did this, or I didn't get that. And that's when we go too far. Just use the happy memory and understand that, you know, some people get stuck there and think, well, that happened. It's never going to happen again. It will happen again. You're contemplating where you're going forward. This week feels like things settling into place. That's what it feels like. If you've been facing a lot of loss, there's a very, very, very kind of contemplative mood this week, and maybe a little bit even like rose tinted glasses, which, trust me, is not a bad thing. If you've gone through death, sometimes we need that to be able to look back and think, okay, well, that was shit, but I understand why that had to happen. I understand why this has been going on in my life. We can only move forward by looking at where we've been. And I know some people don't like that. They're just like, I don't care about the past. Well, you know, when we don't care about the past, when we just think, I'm done with it, let's go, you haven't actually dealt with it, and you will revisit it. I mean, I've seen it too many times. People just think, I'm done with it. I don't want to know. Just tell me where I'm going. Tell me what's going to happen. And it's like, well, the same thing will happen, right? It's always worth taking a moment to think back. I don't think there's anything wrong with the Six of Cups. I think it serves us. Think about it. Looking back when you were happiest, or when in more innocent times. There's children here, right? Can that be a bad thing? That's how you move on to the 7, by going through the 6. That's how you pick out your next dream. That's how you move. That's how you progress. The answers are always in the cards, guys. Now, I'm going to say this for you guys. You have 2 cards here that talk about second chances or the past. Both of them involve looking back at the past. Now, this is looking back at the happier times, right? The nostalgia. This is a complete review. This is about forgiveness. And there may be someone that you need to forgive to be able to move forward into a new future. I just get a sense that some of you think something is too good to be true. Why? Why is it too good to be true? The magician tells you that the only person that you need to be concerned with, you know, channeling the energy or doing whatever, is you. You have the knowledge. You have the tools. You don't need to trust what's happening outside of yourself. You'll be able to deal with it. You have the knowledge and the tools of the magician to be able to channel it into the right places. But going back to the Six of Cups and the Judgment card, this is coming up for you in the future. So both of these, now, this can be a return of something from the past. Now, before people freak out, this is nostalgia, so it's happy memories. And this is a second chance at something that you wanted. A second chance. It's a rebirth. You have 2 cards of transformation and rebirth. I get more that this is an understanding of why this happened. This is going to be a deeper, more profound transformation. There is going to be the need for forgiveness. But I mean, you've got the sun coming up next to it. This is about seeing everything clearly. No illusions, no fantasy. Because think about it. If you go out into your garden at noon and the sun's out, you're going to see every blade of grass. You'll be able to see everything clearly. Seeing the transformation, understanding that this is what has the phoenix rising up from the ashes. But there is this kind of second chance energy coming up, something that you thought you'd missed out on. Maybe you refused it because you thought it was too good to be true, but you're getting that chance again. And that could be anything. I mean, have a look at these cards. They're so broad. It's a lot of transformation that's happened in the past and how you're going to use that transformational energy now to move forward. I do feel like there's someone that needs to be forgiven, especially when judgment comes up. Because think about it. If something new is coming in and you think it's too good to be true, it's because you got screwed over in the past, right? But new people and new situations, they are not the past. And even if they are, even if something, I said that, right? Everything's a cycle. It comes back in one way or another. Sometimes it'll come back to show us that we have changed. It's for us to do things differently. So you always need to just trust yourself. That's why the magician comes up to say, you know, and you have the tools. You can deal with this. But look at your advice. It is the sun. It's see everything clearly and you will see the potential for great happiness in this situation. But this plays out in a lot of different ways, guys. A lot of different ways. For some of you, it's an old dream that you bring back to life, and that's the one you go for now. But whichever way you cut it, whether it's someone coming back, a situation coming back, second chance at a job, second chance at a relationship, or a new personal situation that reminds you of someone or something from the past, right? That can mean all of those things. If you have, you dwell, you'll see everything clearly. You'll see the potential here. You put all that information together. And that's how you go forward. And even the judgment card says, you deal with the past, you draw a line under it and you move forward. You move forward. So, you move forward, you face the future without fear. That's the whole point of judgment. Don't forget this though. Don't forget this. This is all you, if you disregard everything else, remember this for this week. You have the knowledge, you have the tools, you have everything that you need to get through this, to do what you want. It's a week, guys. It looks like a transformative week for me. I think a lot of pieces will come together this week for you. They will come together this week, but it's this card that throws it kind of this. It's a fantasy illusion. The sun is seeing everything clearly. The magician, he as well, he acknowledges what he has. It's step one. Let's see what we've got in our toolkit. So if you can do that, everything kind of past, present, future kind of coalesces, comes together, and you can then face your future without fear, stepping forward into this brand new future, which may seem too good to be true. All right. So you guys got romance. Lavish the one that you love with your personal attention and affection. And I always say with this card, it's a very light energy. It's that kind of whimsical. I always think with romance, it's going to be lighter, right? It's not going to be as heavy. And I think sometimes we forget that. Even when we get into really deep connected relationships, we forget the romantic part. Why we got together with that person in the first place. And this is about, yes, personal attention and affection. But don't forget to give yourself personal attention and affection too. I always remind people of that. We can never give to someone else what we don't have for ourselves. Of course, Gemini would get the thinker. This is us, right? This is air signs. So we can overthink things sometimes. Yes, we're known for it. But this is also about, don't think for other people. If someone tells you where they are or what they're doing, this is it, right? It's too good to be true. But how do you know that? Take whatever is said to you at face value. Even if I always do that. I will always take what is said to me as the truth until I know otherwise. Why? And I get hurt by people because, I'll believe them. Because I like to be that way. I like to be the kind of person that I will just take people for what they say to me. But as soon as they prove that they've been lying or that, what they say the actions don't back up what they're saying, then I act. And that means I have faith in myself to deal with any situation. So please don't think, if someone tells you something about themselves, if someone says, this is who I am, yeah, trust them. Don't overthink it. Because have a look. You've transformed. When we do that, when we kind of fear, is this person lying to me? Are they doing this to me? If we have nothing other than our thoughts to tell us what they're doing, then we can't go by that. Yes, there's intuition. Yes, there's whatever. This is not called the intuitive. It's called the thinker. Think about your own motives. Think about what you're doing. You have the knowledge, right? But otherwise, please don't get stuck in like an illusion or a fantasy. Clear logical thinking on your part, and then you will know. You'll be able to discern. Always trust that. But don't get stuck in this loop of, is this too good to be true? Is this whatever? Give it a shot, right? If you've gone through death and judgment already, look how much you've already gone through. What could you not survive? Just look at it all clearly. Everything is always... So sorry, guys. Everything is always revealed clearly to us when the sun shows up. Oh, Gemini, let's have a look at this. It says, dear you, sometimes you just feel like no one understands you, you're not heard, or even that you don't count. This, my dear, is a terrible illusion. And although your feelings tell you that abandonment is real, well, we who love you know better. You are never alone, and even when rejection happens, you are ultimately being protected, so better things can replace what wouldn't have worked in the first place. Everyone on this side of the veil is watching over you and rooting for your ultimate success. Life loves you, we love you, and you are a unique spark of the divine, and always connect to the light and to source. You are always in our care. Trust and keep the faith. Love you always and forever. And whenever this card comes up, someone will inevitably say that whole, rejection is protection is bullshit. I don't agree with that. I think it is. I think it's bullshit if we are only coming from, if we think that what we want is the be all and end all of our existence, that we are like spoiled children who should get whatever we want, then yeah, it's complete bullshit. Then it is, right? Then rejection is awful. But if you believe that you're here for a deeper I can't even speak. If you believe you're here for a deeper existence, if you believe that, you're on a journey, and like I do, I don't believe in good or bad. I think everything serves me. Everything does. And trust me, I'm not just saying that because I hope for that. That's what I've seen in my life. I've had everything. I had rejection from every angle for 7 years. I had a very severe illness. I spent 7 years in a bed where my own body was rejecting me. Everything. I had no friend, everything. I lost everything. Work, friends, the use of my body, health. Now, that was the biggest rejection I ever faced in my life. But I sit here today because of that. That was my judgment moment, actually. I went through judgment for 7 years where I looked in every corner, I did the review, looked at who I was, understood who I was. And I came out of that stronger. Now I see it as a gift. At the time, did I see it as a gift? Hell no. I hated it. If someone had told me if someone had said this to me, back then, oh, this is all like your protection, something better's coming, I probably wouldn't have been able to knock them out because I didn't have the strength. But I would have loved to have, right? So, we don't always understand in the moment. And I always say we have that inner brat. We all have it. We want what we want. And why not, right? We're here to experience that. But there is a deeper, you have the confidence to use what you have. That's the main thing for this week. Doesn't matter whether you're flitting around what you see. Trust that you see everything clearly. Within that, look at the potential. It's not too good to be true. Because you're not too good to be true. You're the one that makes this happen.